All right, guys. A few words about this huge complex, right in front of us. This is the Forbidden City. All right? This is the East Palace Gate of the Forbidden City. When we finish the tour, we'll be coming out of here because this area has easier access to the subway station, to the places where you can get a taxi, get a Didi back to your hotel. This is the moat, 52-meter wide moat, surround the Forbidden City to protect the Forbidden City. This is the man-made moat river. Once we get into the Forbidden City, I'll give you a lot of stories, taking place inside. All right, let's continue to the south entrance of the Forbidden City. Forbidden City is huge, 72 hectares. 72 hectares, that's about 178 acres. Oh, this is my colleague. Do you mind if he's going to take some videos of the tour, like the beginning part of the tour? Okay. All right, here we go. So we just entered the Meridian Gate, and the most important buildings were constructed along the central axis, along the Meridian Gate. This is our major traveling route to see the outer palaces and the inner palaces. Where the outer palaces were the places the emperors celebrated their birthdays, the winter solstice, the Chinese New Year. But they only come to this area, say 3 or 4 times a year. They spend most of their time in the inner court, where they were hanging out with the families, especially with their ladies, because the emperor normally had one empress, one official wife, and dozens or 100 concubines, as well as 1,000 ladies. Most of them live in that area, so the emperor spent most time in that place. And then we are also going to visit the palaces in the west and the palaces in the east, where those ladies and concubines resided for a couple of 100 years. So together with the Imperial Garden in the back. And then when we finish the tour, we'll be coming out of the East Palace Gate over here. We saw that gate while on the way here. Okay, so construction of the Forbidden City started in 1420, and there's a complex like the size of 100 football fields, and accommodate 9,317 rooms altogether in this complex. And these are the residents ever lived inside the Forbidden City, except the first two. So Ming Dynasty and Qing Dynasty. There are so many different dynasties out there in China history. They were about 2,000 years apart. And those two emperors live in southern China, not far away from Suzhou. So they live in Nanjing, the former capital city of the Ming Dynasty. This gentleman, the third emperor in the Ming Dynasty, who moved the capital from south to north and established this Forbidden City. Started from him, there were another 14 emperors lived in the Forbidden City for more than 200 years, until the last emperor in the Ming Dynasty. So this is the last emperor in the Ming, and this is the last emperor in the Qing. Most of these last emperors didn't end up well, either to be killed, or to be captured, or killed themselves. Like that emperor who killed himself at the age of only 34. Who hung himself right behind the Forbidden City because those bad people were attacking the Forbidden City, forced him to commit suicide. And later on, these Manchurian people coming from the northeastern part of the country, they come to Beijing and defeated those people, occupied the Forbidden City by that time, and then they occupied the Forbidden City and took over the whole country and started a new dynasty, which is called the Qing Dynasty. Lasted for 267 years, for 10 generations, until the last emperor, Emperor Puyi. This guy, who was proclaimed to be the emperor at the age of only 3, but he was the first to abdicate, first to retire at the age of only 6. This is a very popular movie, which is called The Last Emperor, which was actually filmed right inside the Forbidden City. That was a story about the last emperor. He was kicked out of here in 1924. And in 1925, the whole complex opened to the public as a palace museum. That's why this huge complex has 2 names, the Forbidden City and the Palace Museum. Forbidden City refers to the living residence for these emperors. And Palace Museum is what we're having now. One of the largest palace museums in the world, and houses more than 2 million artifacts inside.
I have a question.
Sure.
The Great Wall. So we're going tomorrow, but we don't know which entrance to go in. Which side do you think is less touristy?
You mean which section?
Yes.
Yeah, you are supposed to. I recommend you to visit. I highly recommend Mu Tianyu.
Okay.
Yeah, Mu Tianyu. That's the prettiest section.
Is it crowded?
No, this is not very crowded. But I recommend you leaving at around 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
7:30. Because later it is getting more crowded.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it far from, like, let's say here? Because we stay around here.
Yeah, 1.5 hours drive.
Oh, wow.
Yes, like 50 miles away from here.
Wow.
50 miles?
Yeah, 50 miles. Mutianyu is a good place to visit. Are you going to travel to there on your own?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, you need to hire a car.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the walk?
For the walk because it's too far.
Yeah.
All those major attractions in the city could be accessed by taking the subway, but except the Great Wall, it's too far. Taking the public transportation is a little bit complicated.
Taxi doesn't go?
Taxi go, but coming back will be an issue.
Right.
Yeah, the taxi is leaving, and then you have to, figure out, to get a taxi back to the city. And there are a lot of illegal taxis around that area. You need to negotiate with those people.
Yeah.
Hello, Lindsay. How do you like it?
It's good.
Forbidden City, like a popsicle. A lot of people actually keep the stick as a souvenir. Yeah, because they have the characters of the Forbidden City on it. Okay, everybody.
Is it like something on it? Oh.
Yeah.
What does it say?
That one you see. Now that's the serial character. 自强不息.
What does that mean?
自强不息is a little hard. Let me say. 自强不息. You need to work hard. You need to work hard and never give up. That's what it means. Yeah, written in the serial characters. Empress Dowager. Neil, it's pretty impressive. You know that word, Dowager.
Yeah.
I would say most of the native speakers are not aware of the word of Dowager. When I say Dowager, they always ask me, what does Dowager mean?
Power behind the throne.
The power behind the throne, or the powerful lady, like a widow.
Yeah.
Widow with an honorable title. So they're called the Dowager, Empress Dowager Cixi. And there's an American author who wrote a book titled The Dragon Lady. That's why people nicknamed her as the Dragon Lady. This lady, is she beautiful? She is so beautiful at the age of 20, at the age of 70.
Which one is she 20?
Hard to tell, is that right?
There you go.
20 and 70, even though that picture is a little bit, modified by technology. She was selected as a concubine at the age of only 20, and with the help of the eunuchs, she got more chance to stay with the emperor. And then she got pregnant and gave a son to the emperor, the only son of the emperor. And she was promoted from the 5th to the number 2 most powerful lady in the latest system, in the concubine system. And her husband died at the age of only 31 in 1861, and her son became the new emperor of the country at the age of 5 years old. He died in 1908. Only 3 years later, after she passed away, the dynasty collapsed. And the last resident ever lived inside this palace was this concubine, the concubine Wenxiu, another lady, poor lady. Yeah, most of them had a very miserable life. Once that you step into the Forbidden City, it seems like you are stepping into the deep ocean, getting the freedom back, or step out of the Forbidden City to get the freedom back is never gonna happen. Okay, so this lady, concubine. In 1922, December the 1st, 1922, empress married two ladies. There's two ladies, empress and the concubine. The emperor get along very well with this lady, and the emperor, didn't like this lady. Didn't get along very well with this lady, and both of these ladies and the emperor were kicked out of the Forbidden City in 1924. And then this lady, who made an announcement on the newspaper requiring the emperor to sleep with her at least once a week. But the emperor didn't pay any much attention to that notice. And then this concubine, she divorced the emperor. In 2,000 year history, in the feudal history, for 2,000 years, no lady has the courage to divorce the emperor. She was the only one to divorce the emperor. And then she married this factory worker and died in 1950s.